Hello Year 6, I'm going to talk you through everything that's on the Google Drive for you this week so that you know what you're expecting to find when you look in there. First of all, you've got two reading comprehensions. The first one is on Jamaican British poet Benjamin Zephaniah, and the second is about the Windrush, which will really help set you up for your history learning this week. You're well versed in what your SPAG tasks look like. So far you've been doing them for quite a while, but here is your next one for this week. And then Mrs Thornley's got a fantastic writing challenge for you this week called They've Got Talent. You're basically going to imagine that you're reviewing a talent show, just like Britain's Got Talent. You've been to watch an act, you'll have to decide if it's great or if it was terrible and you hated it, and you're writing a review of everything that you saw. So you're thinking about words and phrases to describe that act and what your and the audience's reaction were. Mrs Thornley's put a lot of help on the sheet there in sentence starters for you. So let's have a look at the sort of acts that you might imagine you're reviewing. It's completely up to you whether you want to find an act on YouTube of a real Britain's Got Talent act and review them, or whether you want to make it up from your imagination. You'll have to decide whether it's a positive or a negative review. The most important thing is to have fun, make it entertaining. We want it to be as funny as possible. So here's the first act, Paddy and Nico. That's on the worksheet for you. You can press the YouTube link and watch the whole amazing act. Here's another one of the acts that Mrs Thornley's recommended that you watch. There's a link on the worksheet to this one as well, these boogie woogie dancing stormtroopers.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
Remember to include details such as what the judges' reactions were like, what the audience's reactions were like when these acts really got into the flow. This will all add detail to your description and your review and make it so much more entertaining for the reader. Next is your spelling work for this week. It's all about suffixes, word endings in other words. Words that end in foam, pathy, scope and logy. Your White Rose maths as usual. It's all about multiplying and dividing fractions this week, and you know where to find the videos to help you with that. There's 4 days of those. There's also 2 different maths challenges for you to tackle that Mr Cole's put together. Here's the first and here's the second. And then finally for maths, to keep your arithmetic skills sharp as always, there's an arithmetic paper for you to try, and the answers are all on the Google Drive for you to mark your work. The technology for this week looks really, really good fun, and I've had a go at this at home to show you. You're going to build your own rocket launcher. You'll find all of the instructions on the Google Drive here, but I'm just showing you very quickly all the things that you're going to need. And there's clear instructions there for how to make it. Here's all of the things that you're going to need. You're going to need some tape, some card. I just used a bit of an old pizza box that I had at home, and you're going to need 2 different rolls of card. One needs to be smaller than the other so that it can fit inside. Fortunately for me, I had 2 different sized toilet rolls, so this bit was quite easy. You need 2 rubber bands as well. You're going to block off the bottom of the smaller tube. I just drew round mine here so I could cut it out, and then I sellotaped it on, as you can see. And yes, of course, I do really work this quickly. Then you need any drinking straw, and you're going to sellotape that across. Next, take your bigger tube and cut 4 incisions, just as I'm showing you here. It's about 1 to 2 centimetres apart and not very far down. Just a little bit, one on one side and then on the other side as well, to match. Place your bigger tube over your smaller tube with the incisions at the top. You can thread your rubber bands over each side, hook them round the straw so that you've got one on the left and one on the right. Cut yourself another piece of card so that you can make your rocket, fold it up, or roll it up rather, so that you've got your tube, and you just secure that together. And then you're going to decorate it to make it look like a rocket. Now, I'm not a particularly talented artist, as many of you know, but I've attempted to put astronauts down the side of mine. I'm sure you'll come up with a much better way to do it. You can add anything else you like to make it suitably rockety, and then you're ready to go. Place it inside the rocket launcher and just test that it works. and then you're ready to fire. Lots of things for you to consider here. Can you measure how far it goes? How could you make it go further? You could make more than one rocket, different shapes and sizes, to find out what's more aerodynamic. Try firing it on different angles to see if you can get it to go further. And please do film a video and send it into the Year 6 email for us, because we would love to see your project work. Science investigation this week is all about melting icebergs. Here's what the worksheet looks like, which is on the Google Drive, but I'm not going to talk too much about it now because there's a separate YouTube video for that, which you can head on over and watch when you're ready to do your science learning. Mrs. Wood has put an art task on the Google Drive for you this week, which looks like this. It's all about the artist Roy Lichtenstein, one of the most famous pop artists. And I think I'm going to whet your appetite a little bit for that task by showing you a little bit more about the artist, and then you can head over to Mrs. Wood's sheet on the Google Drive and give it a go for yourself.
In 1963, Roy Lichtenstein's Wham disrupted the art world, questioning what art is or could be while proposing a new mode for its production. A propulsion of post-war pop sensibilities, the monumental painting depicts an American fighter jet firing on and destroying an enemy plane. Executed in the style of an enlarged cartoon, complete with word bubble and sound effect text, its message is at odds with its manner. Painted in acrylic and oil on canvas, the work is a diptych, comprising of 2 equal-sized panels, each measuring 68 by 80 inches. Purchased by the Tate just 2 years after its execution, it is now a highlight of the Tate Modern Galleries in London. To create Wham, Lichtenstein took a single panel by the cartoonist Irv Novick from an issue of the DC Comics monthly All-American Men of War. He then sketched out the image and projected it much enlarged onto the canvas before tracing the outlines. Shading was created using Ben-Day dots, colored points spaced and overlapped to create optical effects, named after the inventor of the process, the 19th century publisher Benjamin Day. Lichtenstein applied these dots of paint using homemade aluminium mesh and a scrubbing brush. The work also demonstrates his signature practice of using bold planes of flat colour and heavy black outlines.
Looks good. Definitely try out that task. There's a history task again this week, which is all about immigration after the Second World War to Britain. There's a separate YouTube video for that, so watch that video before you try the work. We're asking you to carry on with your movie making for computing this week using Stop Motion Studio. Some of the examples that we've seen so far have been brilliant. Keep going with those. We know they take a lot of practice to get right. Lastly, happy birthday to everybody who's celebrating one this week. We hope you have a fantastic time. And to all of you who are working so hard at home, we really are really proud of you for everything that you're doing. Keep going. Keep sending it to the Year 6 email so that we can celebrate it on next week's assembly. Good luck with all your learning this week.